Hi, my name is Bob Beechell, and in this video I'll give a brief overview of some of the key concepts that are used in R. I'll be looking at objects such as vectors, matrices and data frames. These are used to store data and store results. And secondly, I'll talk about functions, which are the basic commands in R which you use to manipulate data. And the essence of a function is that it has an input and it has an output. It returns a particular object. Let's look at some of the key concepts used in R. The main point is that R commands create and manipulate various types of objects. Now these main objects are in fact as follows. Firstly, vectors. These are a one-dimensional array of data, and that data must be of all the same type. Now the data that could be in a vector could be numeric, numbers, either integers or floating point, character, that is text, or logical values true and false. The second object is matrices. These are two-dimensional arrays of data, again numeric, character, or logical. Now lists, these are a general form of vector in which the various elements need not be of the same type. And in fact, the elements of a list may themselves be vectors or other lists. The main use of lists is to provide a convenient way to return the results of a statistical computation. Fourth object is data frames. Data frames are essentially like a spreadsheet. They contain columns of data, which can be of different type, and they're the main way in which data is inputted into R itself. You can import, for example, data from an Excel file, and it's imported into a data frame. Now factors, these are used with categorical variables. When you have data which is not numeric, which for example might be responses to a question on a questionnaire, and the responses might be yes or no, or it might be a particular age group or gender, then these variables are contained in factors. And finally, we'll mention user-defined functions. As R is a professional programming language, a comprehensive language, it does of course have the ability for users to create their own functions, whereby of course you have a collection of commands which are run in one go. The function takes in data and outputs a value. All the objects that you create have to be stored in a particular variable. That is, they are assigned to a variable. And the way to do this is to use the assignment operator, which is a less than sign and a minus sign, followed by a minus sign. In other words, it's not equals. Equals is a way of comparing objects to see if they're identical. Assignment is different. That's placing an object into a variable, and this is the operator we must use for that. One important point to note is that both variable and command names in R are case sensitive, so you have to be careful to type them in the right case. And the final concept which is worth noting is that every command in R is in fact a function, because it will take in various data, bits of data, normally of course the object on which the command is going to operate, together with additional parameters, and it will output a value which can then be stored in a variable for later use. So that's a brief rundown of some of the key concepts in R. As we begin to type commands into RStudio and run them, you'll see these concepts coming into play.